The Ancient History Department at Macquarie University in New South Wales, Australia is rethinking the way they do assessment. Today they are working with Dr. Tim Kitchen from Adobe to help them make the most out of their Adobe applications and use the power of video storytelling as an assessment and communication tool.
Assessing the learning of students is a vital part of being an educator, but it can also be a very tedious process for both the teachers and the students.
In my teaching experience, I found video to be a fabulous assessment tool. When done well, it can really enhance the learning and teaching process.
Now, we know that anyone can make and publish a quality video these days. You don't have to have expensive recording equipment. You can do a lot with just your smartphone. Adobe have a wide range of video solutions, from free mobile applications to the industry standard Premiere Pro video editing software that comes with the Adobe Creative Cloud Suite. Now, like most schools and universities, we have access to this amazing software. So we are endeavouring to learn what we can do with it to enhance the educational experience that we offer to our students here in Ancient History at Macquarie University.
So we started off working on handheld devices and working with Adobe Spark and Adobe Premiere Clip. It's just been fantastic because already within an hour we're already making our own videos, and it's just so simple and user-friendly. So it's fantastic.
It's incredible, isn't it? So what do you think that your students are going to do with all of this? How do you think they're going to benefit from this transition into video production?
I think it's something that's really necessary within universities. Okay. I think we need to move away from this traditional based assessment, so the traditional writing and essay submission, because the world is changing. We're seeing rapid technological developments, and I think as humanities we need to keep up with that. And I think this is a perfect transition between that two, and it's going to form them and make them competitive graduates.
Absolutely, absolutely.
Adobe in particular has a product suite which is one of the industry standards.
Yes.
And certainly exposure to those industry standard tools and the ability to use them and graduate with those abilities is an important part of what they do. So that relationship gives us the opportunity to enable our students to engage with, like I said, industry standard tools, which is really important.
Dr. Tim Kitchen and the team from Adobe Education have been helping my team of educators learn how to use the simple mobile video editing tools provided by Adobe, as well as the slightly more complex and incredibly versatile capabilities of Adobe Premiere Pro.
Video is now considered a literacy. It's almost as important to be able to make a quality video as it is to be able to read and write. Thanks to sites like YouTube and Vimeo, about 70% of all internet traffic is now via video.
Video allows me to hear and see what my students are learning and creating. It's the perfect medium for visual communication and assessment because it incorporates still images, moving images, text, animation, and sound. Not only can I read what my students are saying, I can hear directly from them and see them in action. It is such a powerful assessment tool.
Oh man, that's good. It's good?
Well, I think if we're thinking about the impact it has on students, we want to look to the digital media literacy framework. And so what we've been able to cover today has been the functional and audio-visual principles that really give you a foundation to apply to any kind of context. And that's going to be really handy for students to have in their toolkit as we're sending them off into the world where they're not necessarily preparing for a specific career or pathway, but they need to be nimble and able to adapt to whatever is coming out in the world in the future.
And one of the things about technology, it's always been promoted as being a very creative tool and a very tool to support innovation and new ideas and so on. And I'm particularly interested in that process. And I see Adobe products as, a very interesting platform for self-expression, creativity, developing original products. And particularly the role of collaboration on that, because being online and in the Creative Cloud, people can collaborate from all over the world.
Absolutely.
And that brings a kind of sort of collective intelligence to a project, which it's really interesting to see what effect that has on outcomes. But I'm really interested in how people working together in this environment collaborate and solve problems, because I'm more interested in the cognitive side of things. What sort of thinking skills do they use and develop? How working together and collaborating can perhaps increase the levels of thinking capability and understanding between participants. And I think online cloud-based services like the Adobe Suite, really are a great vehicle for that kind of activity.
Most universities and school systems around Australia and New Zealand have an enterprise agreement with Adobe that provides them access to Adobe's creative cloud applications, such as Premiere Pro, Photoshop, Illustrator, After Effects, and many other apps that are the standard in a range of creative industries. It is great to see Macquarie University taking this initiative and really making effective use of their Adobe software investment.
There's a lot of opportunities.
Absolutely.
And it's happening in K-12, it's happening now in higher education. It's really something we need to embrace.
Yeah, and I agree that's entirely exciting. And from the perspective of history and historical theory, I love looking at it through the eyes of R.G. Collingwood and capturing imagination as a tool for learning and teaching at Macquarie University.
A wonderful way of capturing imagination. So,
excellent.
Well done.
Thank you.
If you're a teacher and you are wanting to enhance your digital literacy skills, join the hundreds of thousands of other educators on the free Adobe Education Exchange who are using this resource to share how and why they use Adobe software to enhance communication and creativity in their classrooms. If you would like to undertake a session on digital literacy with your Adobe software, contact your Adobe Education team.